Happy Thursday. How's it going? I am Raphael, and welcome to the channel where our goal is to fix it in camera and then finesse it in post. And today we're going to do something special. We are going to try something special. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to open up a Zoom channel and we're going to have a discussion about how to get clients, how to find clients, how to secure clients, and how to land clients consistently. So I want to open up the chat with you guys to make this something a little bit more interactive. And this is something that I've been trying to do for a while. I want to do it through Clubhouse. That's the thing. And I couldn't ever get the audio and the video to kind of work. So let's try Zoom until I can figure out the Clubhouse thing. It's not because I didn't try hard enough. It's that I didn't have the time to figure it out with the streaming machine. So I did try a few things, but today we're talking about how to land clients, how to grow your client list, and how to get clients to want to work with you. Now, it's been a while since I actually had to go hunting for clients, but I know that this is a reality, and this is something that, especially if you're just getting started or you're switching the kind of direction that you want to do, like how you find clients that are within your own niche. So let me share. Oh, I have to wait a couple more minutes before Zoom goes. So I'm gonna start talking, and then I'm gonna open up the Zoom channel. And I just want to say thank you, Roger, for helping me do the testing. I know I was going to send you a link, but the link wouldn't work until the Zoom call was open. So I just want to say a big thank you to Roger for helping me set up and do the testing on this machine. And we got it working. At least I think we did. So let's hope for the best. One-man show, trying to get it done with a lot of support from you guys. So I just want to say thank you for all your supports. So let's just get started with this. Seriously, Roger, thank you. It was helpful. Okay. So, how do you land paying clients consistently? That's where we're going to be. Ooh, echo is strong with this one. All right, let's try it. Is this a little bit better? Hopefully it's better. Better? All good. Stay in the chat. Ask your questions there. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna figure it out. So the biggest thing is, how do you land paying clients? Because we can find clients that there's plenty of clients. Let's get that straight right off the bat. There's plenty of opportunity for everyone to find clients. But how do you find good clients, and how do you find good paying clients that are worth working for? And this is something that we talked about a little bit earlier last week, actually. And one second, let me just move this down. Yeah, that works. That works. So landing clients is one thing, but how do you attract them? How do you find them? And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And it really does come down to that. Like, you have to do a little bit of hunting and then attract the clients. And I guess attract isn't the right word. The word that I think we should be looking for is, how do you find clients that need to work with you? That's the thing that we have to figure out, because there's plenty of clients to go with for everybody. So you have to know you 100%. You have to understand what you're offering and why clients should work with you versus any other of the competition. And we're going to talk about all that. Oops. Where's my stuff? Oops, I'm too far. I broke it. Where's my stuff? All right, here, let's see if we can get the Zoom thing going so we can have the discussion as we go. I'm going to pin this at the top right now, pin message. Let's start that Zoom call right now. Open it up. And give me a second to make sure that we figure out the audio portion of it. Because once we figure out the audio portion of it, then we're going to be golden. So let's get that all going. And you don't have to use your camera. Just go all audio if that works best for you. Let me know that it's working. Oh, we need to move that up. Where? Show on all scenes. Why am I not seeing? That's weird. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. That's weird. Okay, let's... Oh, here we go. Roger is coming in. Let's see if we can get this up and running. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Let me know if the... Oops. Let me know. Oh, here we go. So guys, let me know if the audio is okay. If you guys can hear me, is my echo coming through? And
yeah, I can hear you.
And can you guys hear me? And can you guys hear Roger? Let me know. I'll turn up the audio if that helps. Yeah, help me out here, guys, because I'm trying to figure this out for the first time. No one's responding yet. Everyone's excited to get onto the Zoom call. Audio is okay. Roger, say hello. And I'm going to say hello.
Hello, hello.
Can Roger talk? Yes, he can. So, Roger, maybe it's best if you hear the Zoom.
There's one latency of the sound.
Try to listen to the Zoom audio, because otherwise you're going to have that delay when it comes through me talking to you. So you need to listen to your Zoom sound. Avars is joining us as well. Hello. So again, if we're using Zoom, make sure that you guys are listening to the Zoom sound. Otherwise, it's going to get a little bit too delayed when it comes through. Avars, I can't hear you just yet. I don't know if you can hear. You are on mute, so I'm going to have to ask you to unmute. All right. So let's have a discussion. I want to have a discussion about...
Yeah,
There you go. Look at that. Let's do a gallery view. Beauty.
somehow I do not hear you in Zoom call, but that's even better.
Oh.
I will hear you in video.
All good. Let's...
I cannot hear you through the Zoom call, Raphael. I can only hear you through the YouTube.
Okay, then I'm glad that it's ultra short latency.
I think Aviars, that's your name, right?
Avars,
Yeah, I think
this
the same
is
for you.
and this is Roger. Hello, you guys. So I'm just going to continue with this, and I'm going to bring you guys back in 1 second. All right? Because I want to get into the bigger points. Let's see. So land paying clients, we already got that consistently. So how do you attract clients when you haven't had any? And this is the question I've got quite a few times, and I'm going to go into it in a little bit of detail later on. But I want to know, leave comments in the questions. If you guys can't join the Zoom call, leave comments and questions about the way you approach it. So anything that you kind of see down the line, we'll talk about that. But right now, so there's 3 things that you need when you're trying to land clients. And the first one is your niche. And I know that everyone talks about this on YouTube, like find your niche because then you can make YouTube channels and you attract viewers. The idea is almost identical to this. So when it comes down to your niche, it is what are you good at and what is the thing that you're actually really good at solving. And this becomes really important because when a client, when you're talking to a client, they ask you what you do and it's a generic answer, it would be the same as giving that answer on what do you do on YouTube? Like, I make videos. That's not an answer. That doesn't help them solve anything, right? Clients are looking for people to solve the problem they're facing. And a lot of clients don't even know that they have a problem. For instance, when approaching a client and you talk to them for a first time, say it's a local business, and you ask them how their business is going, the very first thing a client will tell you is business is going great. Because we're all naturally predisposed to say that everything is going well. I'm fine. It's good. Everything's great. And in most cases, the business might be doing well. But the follow-up question is the one that I find always gets them. It's like, do you think it could be better? That opens the door for them to say, well, of course, I would love it to be better. It's like, well, what are you looking for? What aspect would you want better, like in sales or this or that? And it's like, and that's how you have to have that kind of conversation, especially if you have a good niche and you know going into talking to that client. So the second thing you need is a portfolio. And I'm not talking about, so you need a portfolio, depending on whatever you do. So if you have, in Roger's case, he does video, and in Avar's case, he does app development. So you need to have a good portfolio that shows your strengths, to showcases your work. And it has to be, like, it almost has to knock people's pants off. And I'm going to talk about what that means in a little bit. I'm not talking about it has to look like $1 million. It has to hit them right in that space where they're like, I need this for my company. I need to be part of this. I need to have that kind of experience. And you're going to see what I mean by that in a second. So I want you guys to understand this one point. Instagram is not your portfolio. Instagram is not your portfolio. Your YouTube channel is not your portfolio. Your Twitter, tweets and all that kind of stuff, that's not your portfolio. A portfolio really comes down to a good online presence. And this is where you need to improve your online image right from the get-go. You need to have a good website and socials that support that website. So if you want your Instagram to bring people for work, it needs to lead them to somewhere where it'll convert. They'll be able to see what you actually are good at, not just the social aspect of it. Because that's your personality that they'll get to know and get to like. And part of the improving the online image is make sure that your thumbnail and your profile picture and your name is consistent across all the social media aspects. Like my Instagram is Capricorn8, my Twitter is also Capricorn8, and my business is Capricorn8. I am Raphael Ludwig, so I have my own YouTube channel, but my YouTube channel isn't what I do professionally. I think it's fantastic. I like it, and I've actually gotten some interest because of YouTube channel, because someone then went and like, I checked out your site and I love the things that you're doing. Like, I didn't know that you did that kind of stuff, even though I kind of talk about it quite a bit. So let's jump in. Let's see. So what do you guys think? Movie audio. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. Are you guys still there?
I hear you. Yeah,
We're
I hear
here.
you, but not in call. I hear you
In a live
video.
stream. Okay.
But it's kind of fine.
So what are your thoughts on this? Like, Avars, because I know that you have your business and your name is kind of dominant through all of that. And is your main business your name, or do you have a company entity that you also kind of work through, or is it just, is your name your business? Because that can still work as long as your online presence, your whole image is consistent throughout.
Yeah, I decided for a while ago that I will go with my name for social networks and so on. And basically, because I'm switching jobs, switching companies, and so on, and stick to one company is kind of tricky. And I decided to go with personal branding. And I totally agree with you that you have to have some place where to lead everyone who interested to know better about you. I was kind of slacking and didn't have
Yeah.
normal web page, but I updated it not so far ago. And yes, I have some portfolio and so on.
Because
But I'm not very actively in freelancing, therefore that's, I don't know.
Because you were talking about earlier that you have your own personal Instagram that you also use, but it's more like family stuff and more catered to that.
Yes.
Roger, how about yourself? Because I know that you have a
Yeah.
production company that you work through as well. You were mentioning.
Yeah, that's right. Me and three buddies of mine, we started a production company because we find cameras and making stuff interesting. So we thought maybe we can make some money out of it and sell our work to people if they enjoy the stuff we make. So we made some commercials and music videos. We have filmed some funerals during COVID because there were restrictions to how many people that could attend, and yeah, stuff like that. So it's only small stuff, but when it comes to branding the company has its own name. It's not related to my name or any of the other two directly, but we only have a Facebook page, we have a Instagram page, so we actually only have the stuff that you just mentioned, that it's not our portfolio. So we should probably further down the line get a web page and stuff like that, so we could reach out to a bigger audience.
Yeah, and absolutely. So I'm going to continue with the keynote, because this gets into that point on why that's important. So you improve your image online, and it's consistent, because once you're able to highlight your experience and your strengths in one spot, so it's not cluttered with any other social media posts that are just constant, because Instagram is one of those things where you're constantly posting something, and something that may be relevant to an actual client may get lost in the noise. So they need a place to go to that they can see what you're all about in the professional setting. And to be honest, I have a business Facebook page, but I don't rely on Facebook too much. I'm more on LinkedIn for my professional side of it, and then I have the my main website, which is Capricorn 8. which kind of drives all the experiences when I'm looking for those kind of client work. So there are 6 P's that I want you to think about. And they are, number 1, your purpose. And this is your story. This is the reason you're doing what you're doing. The reason your whole entity and company and why that actually exists. It comes down to, where's my stuff? Nope. So it comes down to letting people, if you know this, if you know your reason, your purpose, your story, like what's the thing that anchors you to make all your decisions. And it's kind of like your niche. Like for me, my purpose on YouTube is, because I'm going to use this, is fix it in camera. That was the main anchor that I wanted to help people establish. In my professional purpose is because I wanted to create dramatic creative results is the anchor that I want to do. I want to do stuff that when people watch it, my whole company is about moving images. So it's not necessarily photography, but it's about dramatic creative results is the whole mission statement that I'm trying to go with my company. So the next one is your principles. And this, where is it? Too many screens. I need a bigger monitor. Hey, Bart, so I think I'm going to get the same monitor you have, that ultra wide, to help me navigate. So you have the principles, and your principles are what you stand for. Have you guys read the book? I'm going to open this up. Have you guys read the book Primal Branding? No? It's a great read, and it goes through everything that kind of establishes your core beliefs. Like it's like why people want to own a Tesla, want to buy an iPhone, and why they're so excited about the next thing. Like, why do you think there was like 1 million people watching Apple's live stream and then rewatching it and now making hundreds of videos just talking about, like, they found this core primal thing that the people that love them want to continue loving them and want them to succeed. So when you have your own principles and you know what you stand for, like what the wins are, what you believe in, what you will and won't do. Like there was a long time ago that I chose personally not to do work with like oil companies or diamond companies or companies that I just found that like just had shady practices. And I'm okay to not get that. Even though the money may be more lucrative, I just chose, like, these were my, kind of stakes in the ground. This is what I believe in. This is what I stand for as a person. And if you know that about you, you're going to be able to communicate much easier to your potential clients. So your potential clients, which are the people that you want to work with, the people that you would stand for, that you support, that you like. My North Star clients, the clients that I would love to work with, are Tesla, Apple, SpaceX. These are companies that are definitely, I love the aesthetic. I love the way they're trying to get better, the way they're trying to make the world a better place, an easier place to kind of navigate, to work with. Like, those are my North Star clients. Like, so any client that kind of falls in that kind of trajectory, those are the clients that I want to work with. So this is kind of going back to last week where I talked about, do you want to work with these clients? So what are the clients that you'd want to work with? Because there's plenty of clients, and I'm going to get into that in a second. So the next one is your pain point. The pain point of what pisses you off in the niche that you're working in. And that's probably going to be something similar that pisses off your client, and they're going to have that kind of similar pain point. So if you can share that and find solutions and like how you could do that better, that is a place where you can strike gold in. So there's two more. So I just want to get through them and I'm going to open it back up. So the next one is your primary skill. And this is something that I was talking about yesterday. I was reading an article about how a lot of people, they get good at something and then they start to ignore it because it becomes automatic. It becomes second nature. When someone looking from the outside looks in, they're like, wow, you make it look so easy. But in your mind, you've stopped thinking about it because it just becomes so natural. Like I felt that way with like After Effects and editing, where it became a second nature. And people were like, why is it so easy for you where they're struggling? And I was looking, it's like, why can't I get my lighting better? Why couldn't I? And I was always looking for that thing where my primary skill is post-production. I thrive in that environment because A, I like it. B, I do find it easy for me. And so when I leaned into it, all of a sudden this whole door opened up, this whole avenue opened up where it became easy for me to communicate what my core primary skill is, like this thing, where because I knew how to do that, I knew how to communicate, I knew how to get the job done a little bit quicker, and I could charge because I was doing it at a level that other people were like, how do you do it so fast? How were you able to get to that point? So go back and what is the thing that you're actually good at, and make sure you communicate that, because clients are looking for the people that are really good, like really, really good at doing specific things. Think of it this way. It's like when a client is looking to hire someone, they're like, we need someone to figure out this thing. And they're going to look for those kind of clients. Okay. So again, what is the thing that you're best at? And the sixth P is your portfolio. And I talked about this a little bit earlier. This is a portfolio that is catered to your needs, or to the client needs. And the thing that I mean by this is that you shouldn't create one demo reel that is just like all encompassing. This is all the stuff I do, because for most clients, it becomes overwhelming. And I kind of learned this lesson way back early in my career, where I made this portfolio piece of just personal work. And when I started shipping it out to a whole bunch of places, people looked at it and, a lot of it was subpar. It wasn't that great. I probably made it 2 minutes too long. It was only 2.5 minutes. And I should have just put the best stuff on there, especially because I was new and green. I should have put only the stuff that I was really good at the time, and the stuff that I wanted to do. But it was still a mishmash of a whole bunch of things. And the first client that I ever got, the first person that hired me, they said there was one shot that they saw on there that made them want to hire me because they needed something similar. And so when I kind of circled back and finished all those projects, and it was a couple years later, I started to make dedicated reels of, like, I have a reel that is just my car work, CG cars or live action cars. And even those are subcategorized into two different, depending on who's asking. I may send both depending if the client wants to do live action or CG, or kind of a mixture of both. I send a VFX demo reel. I send a motion graphics demo reel. I have a demo reel for just explainer videos. I have a demo reel of small product photography. It's like bottles and like just small stuff, like clothing, just stuff that's like contained and really dedicated. So each one I have, and when I talk to a client and figure out what they want, I send them the kind of work that will resonate with what they're looking for. Because if I sent them a reel, I have a beauty reel that's on my site that kind of just shows everything that we do. But that is a general reel that doesn't communicate to landing clients. It's just like, yeah, that's cool, but I don't think you, because you can do everything, I don't think you'll be able to do the thing that we need. And that's when I say, well, check this out. And I show them an extended cut of more of that. Because usually there's something, when I get a cold call from the website, there's usually something that people say, there's that shot with that logo that does that thing, that animation. Do you do more of that kind of stuff? Boom, instantly send them something. So it does take some time to prep. Okay. Does that make sense up to now? There's 6 P's, and I'm going to kind of recap that later. But the 6 P's are your purpose, principles, the people you want to work with, the pain points in the industry, and the stuff that you want to make work better, your primary skill, and then your portfolio. So these are all things that you need before you can even start talking to clients. This is what I feel. So, and I feel that it is good to set that up. I'm going to talk about like, well, what if you don't have those clients? What do you do then? Like, what if you don't have I have a portfolio of stuff. So, Raf, that's great. You have a portfolio of stuff. You can just send them all this great work. And it's like, yes, this is true. But Raf, have you thought about that? I didn't start here. I started with literally nothing in my demo reel. And so I was like, well, I don't have a demo reel. So what can I do? I had to start making my own personal stuff that I was good at and that I wanted to do. And I put that into a 30-second spot. And because I was new and fresh and green, I had to do, I had to give them, what is it? Foot in the door pricing. Like, okay, I don't have clients, because this is one of the things that comes up. It's like, this is great. Like, we do need what you're offering, but what other clients have you worked with? And you just say, it's like, well, I haven't worked with other clients, but this is my personal work that I've done. You know, check it out. And because I definitely want to work with you, I do have foot in the door pricing. You don't say what that price is, but you say that it's going to be worth their while financially to hire you versus hiring someone that is going to be worth more. And there's a whole flip side to that argument, but we'll get to that. So what do you guys think? Roger, Avars, what are your thoughts on those principles? Like, do you guys, if I asked you what's your purpose, what are your principles, what is your, who are the people that you'd want to work with? What is your primary skill? What are the pain points that you'd want to solve? And do you have a portfolio? Could you answer all those questions with an affirmative yes? Or do you think that it's something that you need to take a step back? And it doesn't take long to build that up, but it's not something that you can, finish in a weekend.
No, for me, honestly, I don't have all those pieces put together right now.
Yet.
Sitting down, thinking through yet. But sitting down, walking through them, and I think you have a really good point at not just having a portfolio, but kind of directing your portfolio or specifying your portfolio to the specific client that you want to get hired by. That's a really good advice. I haven't thought about that, but the way we have done it until now is that you talk about foot into the door price. We've gotten in contact with possible clients, and we have said, let's say we made a car commercial some time ago, and we talked to the client and we said, if we can borrow one of your cars for one evening, we can make a commercial, and if you want to buy it afterwards, that's fine. If not, we can use it as our portfolio. And the client was okay with that. We made a commercial. I think it turned out quite good, and the client liked it. But the problem was that there are so many competitors in this same era, or in this same topic, or in the same industry, that makes commercials and they do this full time. We do this as a hobby. So they have, and they have lower prices than we thought was. We thought of a price that was worth the time that we put into it, because it, in addition to having a regular job, it took time from the family and stuff like that. So our price was kind of higher to justify using all the time
Now,
to making that
here
commercial and
I want to
keeping a commercials.
I want to make a comment on that. I want to be very clear, because if it's like me as a company, I have a process where I can do something much faster, and I have the tools and the processes in place that I can get something done like that for a price that's much lower than someone that doesn't have that setup and that kind of infrastructure. So you are playing at a disadvantage. Absolutely. So here's one of the things that is probably one of your best things to do. If you want to do car stuff, you just have to start doing car stuff, and you have to kind of bite the bullet on the price point, because there's two types of clients. And I wasn't going to talk about this. I was going to save this for another talk. But there are two types of clients. Ones that want to work. Their cost, the cost is their primary objective, to get the lowest cost possible. And then you have a whole nother type of client who wants to get something specific done and resolved. Now, both clients they don't want to spend more than they need to. But one client is only concerned with cost, where the other client is, if you did a car commercial, like a spec one that you just did, not for someone else, but just kind of, you and your buddies went out and filmed the stuff on your own time. That way it's not tied to anyone else. You're not doing that. If you can get someone to sponsor a little bit of it, that's great. But if you can do a couple videos where only you guys could create that kind of video, that kind of look, because other people can try to recreate it. And this is something that I kind of get really frustrated about. I've seen, because I've hired a lot of people, and I've been hired by quite a few people. And so when I was on the hiring side, I noticed that I would get reel after reel after reel that was just a gift from Zoom. Running out of time. We've moved 40-minute time limit. Okay. So we're going to have to leave this and then link back into the Zoom call. I'll keep talking, and I'll get you guys back in, okay? So you guys leave and then click back into the same one. I'm going to keep going. Here we go. Leave. So leave meeting, don't end. Oops. Ah, that didn't work. Let's try another one. So when it comes down to it, we are already here. 6 P's. Give me 1 second. Let me get those guys back on, because that was fun. I think you guys are gonna have to join again. If anyone else wants to join that Zoom call, get in there. Let's have a discussion about this stuff, shall we? So I just dropped that link. So the 6 P's are the purpose, principles, people, pain point, and your primary skill. Also portfolio, which is quite a big one as well. There. Oh. Yes, I have to do that. There we go. So yeah, the thing that I was saying earlier is that there are the two types of clients. There's a client that will do it only for cost, and there's a client that will do it for that wants a specific thing. And when you are able to do, it should be started now. Check again. I started it. Here we go. So I found I found early on that when I was working with when I was hiring a lot of freelancers, I find that I saw reel after reel that was almost identical to everyone else's, and it was the time where After Effects was being like huge, like when Andrew Kramer was at the height of his video co-pilot. I would see demo reel after demo reel would just be variations of those tutorials or something that I've seen online, because I work in that industry. I would be paying attention to that kind of stuff, and clients also pay attention to what their competitors are doing. So if you created a video, Roger, talking specifically to you, if you created a video, a car video that looked like another car video that you guys thought was cool, I'm pretty sure your client would have seen something similar. It may have not been the exact one that you saw, but it may have been one that comes across their desk. It's about finding a way to communicate, not that like, hey, this is a cool car, but who are they actually selling to, and creating a video that is directly hitting the heart nerve of the people that are going to want to have that kind of car, that love cars. So you like, how do you make their car the car that people want? Like, primal branding goes into they don't really talk about Tesla, but Tesla is such a powerful point in this, where they don't have any branding, they don't have any commercials, they don't have the marketing budgets that that all the great other car companies do, but yet there's this visceral feeling that people just go out and make their own video about it, and that passion comes across. And so people then go and hire those people to make a commercial for their car company. Like, do you see how it's a backwards kind of a way to approach it, where they didn't go like, if like, I've worked with Lexus, I've worked with GM, I worked with Toyota and Audi, and I've done campaigns with them, and they're usually filled with an agency and creative directors, art directors, and it's just this. It's a huge amount of people. But if you're trying to create something for a local car dealership, you have to do it in a way where not only makes, like, it's this weird thing, because like I'm not exactly sure. Roger, let me know like what the context is for making these videos. Like, what, because I'm getting like all these different worlds colliding in terms of my thoughts. So what is the context? What's the backstory of the kinds of commercial that you were going to make?
Well, there's actually not that big of a backstory. We just want to create stuff,
For who
whether
though? Like,
that's
who?
commercials. No, we don't. That's probably one of the things that we haven't sat down and done a real good job at for now. But because we just want to create stuff, it doesn't actually matter if we are making a car commercial or if we are making a music video or a commercial for a diner or whatever. We just want to create stuff. And but getting more specific into one specific type of videos, or at least sitting down thinking about what kind of clients we want to attract, that's probably one of the things that we have to do to be able to reach out to more clients.
Now, and this is something that actually I want to talk about a little bit more. Mac, I just want to say hello. Thank you for joining the chat. This is awesome. So very specifically, you have to get into a place where the client wants to work with you, not with your gear, because everybody I have the same camera as you. I have the same editing tools as you. I have the same lights. I have the same, dolly and gimbal, like all that stuff. That's a commodity. That doesn't make clients want to work with you. So when you're approaching a client, you have to not only, this is where the knock their pants off, you have to be able to communicate to them. Not only do you know how to do that technically, but that you understand what they're trying to do and what the thing that they're actually trying to achieve. Because most clients, there's like one thing that they want. They want a better result in sales, in brand recognition, and I want people to come to me to buy my cars, just like you want people to come to you to use your services, right? So then you have to add, like when they advertise, they're advertising in the same way that you should be advertising to them, where it's just like, there is nobody better than me. Yes, they have cars down the street at Joe Blow's, auto emporium, but come to me because we'll treat you right. We understand what you're looking for, and we'll get you the best price. Now, there's some people that flip that script and they're like, we have the lowest price and it's always about the price. And then they upsell you and you feel like a piece of dirt walking out of the car dealership because you feel like your pockets were emptied and no one wants to go back to that place again, right? So it's price is always one of the last things that I end up talking about. But when you research the company, and this is something that I'm gonna, let's see if I can bring it up. So there is a 7th P. If you follow those 6 Ps, sorry, I gotta get this in because it made me snort earlier. So if you follow those 6 other Ps, which is the purpose, your principles, the people, the pain point, your primary skill, and your portfolio, there's the 7th P, which, if done correctly, the other 6 can lead to enlarged profits. So be careful. You don't want to make sure that you have medical advice before going forward. Sorry, I snorted. I don't know why. Because that leads to profits. So where do you find these clients? Where do you find these clients? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not there yet. I want to talk about, let's bring this up. I want to make sure that where's the thing? Okay. Here we go. So when you know the clients that you want to work with and you approach them with confidence, trying to get my thoughts straight. So let's go with the car dealership scenario. So you approach them with confidence because they're not actively looking for you. They know that they know that they want more sales, but they're not searching for you specifically. They may be looking for we need a video. I think I talked about this earlier in last week, where they know generally what they're looking for in the commodity space. Someone with camera to make video good for me. That's as high of a highbrow concept that they're looking at right now. But when you approach them, because again, if you have a site where it's all cars and you call it Rogers auto body video mastermind or something like that, happy auto clients or happy auto videos or whatever, right? Call it Rogers auto focus, right? I don't know, whatever it is, they'll land on that page because that's your niche. That's what you want to do. Think of it this way, where you name a company and you call it, I kind of wish I could go back in time and rename my company, but I've already kind of established in the industry and I've referring clients. So we're going to get into that in a second. But imagine you you take this idea and you take your niche and you call your company awesome mega video makers. What does that mean? That's not a niche. That means that you know how to make videos. Great. But if a client is looking at awesome video makers and Rogers auto focus, it's or automobile focus, or Roger the car video guy, they're going to go with Roger the car video guy because Roger knows about car videos, where the other guys they do who knows what, because even the name is something that you approach them with confidence. But that's where finding your niche is. So you can have multiple sites. Like um, this is where like knowing the company, knowing the client, knowing your people, you can cater to those people. Like I said, I have multiple demo reels that are very specific to a very specific need that a lot of my clients have. And I'm at a point where I get a lot of referrals, so I don't need to go looking for work. But I'm always on the lookout. Like the last client that I have, the last client that I got, it's a long-term client. It's almost been 3 years. So the last guy I had, it was someone that I just knew from my past, and we're gonna get into where to find everyone. And they just posted on Twitter, they're like, "Hey, does anyone know someone that could do this?" And it's not someone that it's someone I didn't even speak to for like 6 years, and I just went like, "Hey, I may be able to help. What do you need?" Right? And because they said, "Well, I need this, this, and this," I sent them a reel that was perfect for that because it was already prepped. I was ready for that opportunity. And now we're 3 years into working consistently with project after project because it's like I'm solving that need for them. And this is the company that does all the medical animation. So like it was a high tier client that needed a solution and was looking for someone. And there's plenty of guys that do what I can do. I just was able to show that I understand what their need was and how to solve that problem. The fact that I was able to confidently show that I can do the things, that was a side product of it, where if I didn't have that reel, it would have been much harder to get into that high position. But if you have a reel and you're going for new clients and you approach them with the company and you know the company, and it doesn't click to the next one. Why? Because, oh, of course. So you know the company and you've researched them. So this is partly going back to the Rogers autofocus videos. Like I get the sense that you want to make these kind of videos because you like making these kind of videos. Like this is the kind of stuff that you want to do. Is that true? Yes.
Yes,
I can hear.
that's true.
Hear you not. Yeah. So then you need to come across as the authority that you understand not only how to shoot a pretty car, because that comes across with your images very quickly, but you need to also be able to understand what the client is actually trying to achieve with their video. Like, are they making a vanity video because they want to communicate about their awesome, fantastic business and they just want people to see how cool they are? No, they want people to come to their place to buy and make money. Everything kind of boils down to growing their business. So you have to understand that portion of it that will make something that will attract those kind of customers. Like who is this company's target audience? Who are they selling to? Well, they're not selling to kids. Okay, so that's out. Are they selling to 65 and older? Or is it like Buick, where, because I did a lot of work with Buick and their demographic is 55 and older. Like you have to understand who the company is selling to. So you need to research them on a business level and on a personal level. That's when you respond to posts that they make, like, "Hey, this is a great post. You guys really understand the audience and who you're trying to sell for." It's like, and you kind of just give them compliments, and you kind of, and this is where having your social image being the same across all your socials. So if you see them on Twitter and you respond, you see them in Facebook and you respond, and you see them on Instagram, and you post a comment, and you just become part of the conversation. Similarly to what we did here on YouTube, where a lot of people, because they comment on your Instagram, but then they commented on your YouTube video, and then you comment on their video, and everyone checks out. Like if your face is around online and you're interacting with them and you become personal, people will hire people that they feel they know. This is the parasocial kind of aspect of social media. But your social media has to somehow link back to letting people know that this is what you do. And like even with me, with because I have such a strong um, social presence for my company, when people look beyond the Raphael Ludwig thing, and they look into like what more is he about, I get opportunities from just that. I don't get too much from that because I don't push it out there. I don't uh, kind of reach out to a lot of different people because my slate is full. But I've had opportunities where people have come to me and they're like, "We want you to work on this." And this is where, after you do land your first client, and after you do get to that point where you're consistent in getting a referral from that client because you treated them well, you understood what they're trying to achieve, and then you kind of went above and beyond and you delivered on the thing that you promised that you would, or like you said that you would, and you both understood that, then you'll get a referral from that client, and then that client, and it kind of snowballs relatively quickly. I don't think I sent out my demo reel. Like it was about 3 years of a lot of hard work, but after that, I haven't even updated my demo reel since 2014 because I've just been consistently busy even during the pandemic. But like it took me 15 years to get there, but you can shift it over. You can get that point, but you have to put the building blocks. You need the cornerstone, which is all those 5 Ps. If you understand that, then everything that you do will help you communicate. You're the client that I do the best work for because I understand you. This is my strength because this is what I'm really good at. This is my portfolio that will help you achieve the results that you're going for. And these are once you know those 5 Ps, the 7th P comes. And it does. It's just you have to set it up. Just like with doing the YouTube channel, you have to be consistent. You have to have it like overarching theme of your, like, what is your niche, and you can stick with that. But you can have multiple reels that do product photography or small product stuff. Like you can build that on the side, and then when you feel it's at a good place, like it doesn't have to be longer than 30 seconds. Like really, it doesn't have to be. Like, and your portfolio piece can be just one commercial. It can be that. Yes? Yay, nay? Makes sense? I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Avars, Mac, anything you would love to add to that?
Yeah, I would like to add, you mentioned very, very good resources and great points, but I would like to mention one book. It is named The Unfair Advantage, how you already have what it takes to succeed. That basically is about what you already said, that it should be that you already probably have some advantages, some great skills, but you just don't know about them yet. So I can give example. For example, when I was starting freelancing, I started on Upwork, and Upwork is very crowded market, and they are running to the bottom with lowest price race and so on. And I didn't have the best developer skills because I just started. So I created 3 portfolio items. So side point, you don't need 20, 50 or whatever portfolio items, just keep the best one, 3 to 5 items. And I just tried to take advantage from my advantage points. I was located in Europe, still am, and that is kind of advantage on Upwork because there are many guys from Pakistan, India, and so on, and that's customers from Europe or US looking more from that region. Also, I had background in product development and so on, so I know ins and outs for project management and all that stuff. And also I have above average communication skills. I can communicate with customers. So basically I tried to push on those points, advantages that I had. Actually, I didn't read that book yet back then, but I somehow guessed that is great way to move forward, and that was working for me very well. So I'm just echoing your points, and yeah, if you like to go deeper into that, there is book about finding unfair advantages, because we quite often do not realize our strengths.
I might try to contribute as well a little bit. Beforehand, hi everybody. Rafael, I love your channel. Ivars, I've been following you for a while as well. Great content, although I don't have anything to do with programming or making apps but everything, but you got a cool style and you know what you're talking about. So it's great to be here. But anyway, I've been a professional musician within blues and country since 1983. And I know that cold selling never works. Maybe in 1% of whatever case it happens, but usually you need to make yourself wishable, desirable. You need to somehow show that you're good at what you're doing without pushing it too hard. Of course, this is difficult when you don't have money, you're just starting off. Of course, you have to do this with a portfolio and everything. Of course, I've called clubs and, hi, this is me, Homesick Mac. I want to do some, gigging for you or whatever. I can play this, I can play that. And they say, okay, send us a tape. In music business, it's kind of easier than in a video business, but now I'm in a video business as well. And I've discovered that when I got my first client for video, it was because we were in the same gym, this guy and myself. And I was just talking to somebody else about using a camera, and I was recommending him to buy something. Oh, can you do a video? Yeah, sure. Well, we're kind of looking for somebody who could do this and that. And that's how I got my first client. I was just having my big mouth open, and I was talking about what I was doing. And that client recommended me to another one, and so on. And the current client, which is, this guy is one of the best clients I've ever had, because he's impressed by, let's say, what I can do in my fields. And that's enough to give him this inspiration of kind of, oh, okay, let's do something. He wants to work with me. He didn't ask me about the equipment. He didn't ask me about the reel or anything. He just said, could you do this for me? Like, run my Instagram account for a while. Could you make me instructional videos where I talk to the camera and explain how people can clean their leather products or whatever, because that's what he's selling, right? And I said, yeah, I can do. I'm not the best, but I can try. And when they say like you're modest, but you still know what you're talking about, you're not pushing it. That's my contribution to this conversation, maybe not to push too hard, because that's where people get resilient. A little bit of wait. And never charge per hour. I made that mistake a long time ago, and it just didn't work. Project pricing, and Rafael, we had a kind of textual conversation about how much to charge and how to do the prices for projects and all that. So I've learned a lot from that, and I'm just still thinking about how much I'll charge him for this project, which we already filmed. We already did it. And he said, oh, just send me the invoice. But the thing is that I can't just, put in, top cream on it and really charge him a lot, because I don't want to lose him either. I want to pay respect to his attitude as well, because he's been extremely good and generous to me. So I want to make it right. So that was my kind of 2 cents about it.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because that was actually part that I want to talk about right now, is where do you find these clients? Where are they? Where are these other clients? Like, I know that, Roger, you're talking specifically about the car clients, because that's the kind of stuff that you want to do. So you have to go a little bit beyond that, the clients that you're talking about. You may actually need to go a little bit beyond your city borders because of this. So this is where online comes in handy. There are literally millions of companies out there, and you only need about 5 to make a good middle class income from this, like a comfortable middle class income. The other one is local. This is probably like it sounds like, Roger, your in your case, the car company was local that you guys had conversations with, but ask beyond that. Like, what other companies are in the vicinity? Ask. This is where you ask your friends and family, and even that car company that went with another client because they wanted a cheaper price. Be like, do you know of, maybe some of their competitors have want to do videos? And like, I found that there's a lot of competitors that, even though they're competitors, they still have opportunities. And just because one person didn't work with you doesn't mean that another person won't, and you'll have a better experience with them. And if you look and if you ask your friends, family, do you know anyone that would be interested in this? Because not everyone shops at the same place. They would go to those other places. You have to ask. You have to, because I did this when I moved to my new town here. I started talking with some of the new neighbors, and I just started chatting. And then, after a while, they found out what I did. And when they asked what I did, I would tell them, and then I would be like, hey, do you know anyone that could use these kind of services? Are they looking for anything like this? Because everyone that I talked to had a different profession, had a different thing that they were doing. So they had a different network of people. And I did get a couple jobs through that locally. But there's a lot of stuff that I choose not to do because majority of the work that I get now is coming through the States. And that's where the online thing is. Like, there's so many companies that are online that if you interact with them on one part of it, you can get into their halo and do work with them down the road. Oops. So there are other online portals, and I know that Avars, you had done a couple of videos on this, where Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, LinkedIn, there are opportunities there to get more work, but I personally find these as just a race to the bottom, but they are a great way to find clients that are looking for something specific. And you can actually start hearing what kind of things that they need. Not just like, we need a video, because you need to understand that when someone asks for a video, it's like they're trying to solve something deeper, and you need to get into that multi-layered aspect of, like, why are you creating this video? And we're not even going to be chatting about like pricing, like Mac was just talking about right now, because that's a much bigger conversation. You can have foot in the door pricing, and and what I mean by this, if you go out and you don't want to compete with a top tier price, as long as they're able to cover the expenses of whatever, so no money is coming out of your pocket, that is a good trade-off, because you need to build your reel, and that's something that is more valuable in the short term than getting your proper rate for the project. So, and I did this a lot, especially early on, where I would do a lot of work with friends. I would set some time apart and make a project that showcases what we're able to do visually, because it is about first impression. So people need to look at your thing and go like, hey, that was pretty cool, tell me more. Like, you want that conversation, right? It's like walking into a room, and even before you say anything, you smile, and you're already communicating that confidence. You're already communicating at a great level. So this is why I was talking about communicating and approach with confidence. I skipped ahead. So is that making sense? There are plenty of opportunities. Like, where do you find clients? Clients could be anywhere that you go, that you work out, walking down the street. If you have an opportunity to talk, and this is where, if you ever read the book How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, he talks about when you're talking to people, ask them questions, get them talking about themselves, and they'll give you the information. They'll tell you what kind of work that they do. They'll freely tell you what their pain points are in the in their opportunities and their businesses and what they're trying to improve. So when you're able to, when people freely give you that information, that's when you kind of mirror it back to them and say, oh, so you're looking for this, this, and this. And it's like, you would love to have this kind of thing solved for you. And this is, well, I've kind of thought about it, and this is something that would really work in this scenario where you would really be able to connect with the people that you're trying to sell to, because ultimately it seems like you have that little gap, like that it's not connecting with your viewers. So let's figure that out, because from what you're telling me, your core audience is, this range from that range that would have this kind of income, that would want to spend this kind of money. And like, you need to be able to understand that from their business perspective. Like, you're not just coming in to sell them a video. You're coming in saying, I know your business and I understand what you're trying to do. Oh, I also know how to do this really well. That's the part that you're coming in. And the more you do that, the more you'll be able to charge for it over time. And then the more people will be like, oh shit, I saw the results that you did for, Joe Blow's company car rental place, and shit, like their sales went through the roof. Like, because you understood who you're selling to. You're not selling to the person making the video. You're trying to sell to the end client that is going to use the product. Does that make sense? That's the way I think about it. Like, I'm 20 years deep into this, so I had to kind of go back and rethink how I would approach it today. But like, it's not fair, because I have the advantage of experience. I have the advantage of having a reel. It's like, oh, just make a reel. Thanks, Ralph. That's that doesn't help me at all. But it's like, you know what? Make your reel and make it 30 seconds of like awesomeness of what you want to attract. Make more of that. Because if you put something and it strikes gold, and that's the thing that you want to do, you're going to keep doing that thing. So it better be the damn thing that you want to do. Otherwise, you're gonna like, it's just like, fuck it. It's like, I don't have time for this, and you're gonna get frustrated. It needs to be the thing you love doing and talking about and figuring out, and be like, you just get juiced when you're just like, oh shit, I love doing this kind of stuff. These were my jury duty papers. Don't don't tell anyone. I gotta pick that up. Roger, does that make sense? Mac, does that make sense? Roger, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, does it feel like I've put more pressure onto you, Roger?
No, I don't think you put any pressure on me. I think you just kick my butt so that I'm able to go forward, because I'm feeling like I've been banging my head through the wall. Or
here's something I will do with you. Let's take this conversation offline over the next couple of weeks, and I can help you refine your messaging, your purpose, and really try to get you into a place that will elevate and attract the kind of clients that you want. Because like, you have to go for it. And if your first attempt at it isn't the best, do it again. Refine until you find a client that just goes like, you know what? I know you're busy, Roger, but we'll wait for you. That's where you need to get to, because that's the best place to be at. And it just takes time to do it. Just like a YouTube channel, it's a pain in the ass. There's a lot of work, but man, is it worth it? Like, once you get there, you get there. Like, I'm working full-time doing creative stuff all day long, and I have been doing it for 20 years because I just did not give up. I kept going even when there was no one clapping me on, when I had the failures, when I had sent out my reel to all these companies and just rejection after rejection, until someone said, I want to hire this guy, and just kept going from there. And then I'm at a point where I'm literally referral after referral after referral, and I'm turning work down and passing it off to people that I know do the thing that I do and are compliments to the kind of thing that I do. And once you find, like, you have to grow your network, you have to do all those things, and it just takes time. But once you get to a place, you'll get to a point where there's too much work. And I know that Avars talked about that as well, where it's just like you just have to turn down work because you get to choose what you work on. And right now, you're not at a place where you can choose the kind of work that you want to do. So you need to attract the kind of work that you want. And by doing that, you have to put in a little bit of legwork, because that's what's going to get people to hire you, not your camera. You need people to hire you. Why are they hiring you? Because you understand what they need. Other people have cameras, but they don't have you. So make you the thing that they're hiring, not the tools that you're using.
Hey man, this sounded like a TED talk.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Inspiring. Yeah, but look, there's one little aspect as well. In music business, it's always idiom of go where your customers are or potential customers are. In I don't know, in car industry, there must be trade shows, there must be events, it must be when they're presenting new models or something like that. That's where I would go and mingle and just, be around there, be nice, and, just say, hi, I'm Roger, I'm doing video, blah, blah. You don't have to push anything, but just be social. And I did that. I went to musical trade shows. I went to, let's say, the guy who makes my guitar. I have 7 of those guitars. He just hired me to do a demonstrational work for him on music fairs. So I went to the Frankfurt Musikmesse, which is a big fair about music. So we went to the guitar hall, and I just sat there and demonstrated the guitars. And of course, there are people from all around the world. I talked to them, I played a couple of songs, and that's how I made contacts. And all of a sudden, a festival calls you, this guy calls you, this guy recommends you to somebody, and that's it. So and let's say I'm running an acoustic guitar retreat every summer in Sweden. And what I do is I go to places where I know, let's say, where the people of that status or financial range in life usually gather. Of course, Facebook is a perfect place, but then also, let's say, golf clubs or other social clubs where people maybe gather. And I just kind of make myself known there and spend some time, which means a lot of time up front need to be invested.
You have
but not
to
so much
network.
money.
You have to talk freely and
exactly.
confidently. And it's not about selling. It's about it's a lot easier it's a lot easier for me to say well, I worked with BMW and Toyota and this and just name dropping. People love logos. People love logos. They love the fact that so that builds confidence. And when you don't have that, you have to do that kind of work. You have to do it. You have to almost do a spec ad, not for a particular company and then try to sell it to them, because that almost never works, and sliding into people's DMs. But think about when you make a YouTube video. Think about when you make a YouTube video and you do a review of a product, and then you put it out there, and then the company goes, hey, thanks for making that video of that product review. That was fantastic. And then they're like, hey, let me send you some stuff. It's almost the exact same approach, but make a spec ad of your favorite car or the car company that you want to work with. Make one and then post it onto your YouTube channel and post it onto Instagram and tag them in it and be like, love your car. Thanks for making a fantastic car. I love, the experience that this has done. And then, make a behind the scenes video of how you made the video and why it was fun. And then go that route. And then do another one a couple months later where it's after you spend some time interacting with the car company, in their socials. And it's a little bit harder with that because it's usually driven by, marketing people and stuff like that. So definitely tag the dealership maybe that you want to work with. Be like, got this car from this dealership. It was a fantastic experience. Or if you guys are looking for this car, that dealership has it. It's that free advertisement where you make them feel fuzzy because it's like a compliment to them. And then they're like, if there's any traction and you can show that you can drive business to them, they're going to be like, Roger, that thing that you did before, can you do another one? And then you just go yeah, absolutely. What's your budget? Do you have a budget? And you can start that conversation. It's that backwards way of doing it. It's like all the people that made spec commercials and now are directing feature films. It's like no one's going to hire you if you don't have the track record to show that you can make the thing that they're hiring you to do. So it's this weird loop that you need to start by yourself. It's almost like you need to light the flame of the thing that you're doing. And it may not happen on your first one. It may not happen on your second one. But if there's a point where if you can show people that you can drive results and like people are like, oh shit, I love that. Like, I also love that car, and you can build around the community. And like, I'm talking about cars because like I loved making the car commercials and all the car stuff that we did, because it's just like it's some of the most fun that I had with just creating. It's awesome stuff. But it's a pain in the ass because you always have to be detailing and cleaning the car, and the car has to look perfect. And if it doesn't, you have to clean it up in post. That's where you have to finesse in post. Hello, Mr. Buck. Mac, thank you for being part of this conversation, because insights are fantastic. And the fact that you're coming from a different industry is just proving the points that we're making are valid, because it doesn't really matter what industry you're trying to break into or what you want to do. All the same thing, like replace car with, vodka company, replace vodka company with a leather wallet company, replace anything. And the same, like replace car company with YouTube audience. Like ultimately you're trying to get views at the right place. And so the only way to know is to experiment and keep doing it and keep making more stuff. And the more stuff you make, the more you'll hit on those little gold mines. Like that's the thing, that's the secret sauce that works. And there's only so many people that get to that, like, oh, that great point. But it's only people that are consistent and that keep doing it. So just keep doing it. Can't get discouraged when no one's applauding the stuff that you're doing and no one watches. I've been there, and I still do stuff. I worked on a campaign recently, and this just goes to show there was like 12 people working on this thing. They spent like $300,000 and they posted it, and the metrics came back. Nobody watched it. There was like 400 views, and it's probably all the people that worked on it and their families. It's just like their messaging didn't work out. It was too not focused on what, like they just had a budget and they just wanted to do something, but it didn't actually connect. But I wasn't the lead on it, so I didn't feel it was my place to voice my opinion too strongly. I did, but then every time you do that, the higher ups kind of smack you down. So the fact that you're in charge of the content that you want to make, and that's why the clients would come to you, because they will feel that you know how to get that secret sauce. They don't know how to do what you do. They just know that you can get the result that they're looking for. And that's it. You're selling them a result, but without the guarantee. They get a product, but it's going to be, this is the result that they're going for. Like, and you have to ask them. This is like, I talked about this last week's video, how to talk to clients. Like find out what would be a home run for them. Because then you work from that standpoint, not just like, well, the video will be 30 seconds long. It will be 24 frames a second. Like that means nothing. As Mac was saying earlier, like those kind of parameters, the camera was filmed on, all that, it doesn't matter. They'll get excited about that. Clients love knowing what camera it's going to be shot on. It doesn't matter. The viewer, name one movie that you watched recently and be like, that was shot on an Alexa. That was shot on film. That was shot on an iPhone. Like nobody cares. Nobody's looking for that except for the people that work in that industry. So how did the movie make you feel when you left the theater? I felt fantastic. I felt like I got my money's worth, and like I would want to watch it again, or I can't wait for them to make another one. The technical details no one cares about until after, like, nerds like us, where we're like, shit, what software did they use? What was it cut on, Final Cut Pro? Or nobody cares about that except us. But like a client that you're selling this stuff to is not going to care about any of that. They're like, can you get me more sales? When you boil down to that moment, that one true thing that they're looking for, if you can understand that and unlock how to get it in their within their budget, because you have to work within their budget. Be like, yeah, we can definitely do that for $1 billion. That's like, can you do that for $5,000? Figure out what a $5,000 version of that idea would look like, and how can you do that? Because it comes down to, does it connect with the people that are watching it? And did that person that watched it convert into someone walking into the door, someone clicking on the website, someone signing up for something? Did they do that one call to action? Because that's one thing that I'm actually learning right now on YouTube, is like, every video that I'm making moving forward is one call to action at the end of the video, because it's just as important as the hook. What do I want the viewer to do at the end of my video? So like, even me, I'm still learning this stuff. I'm downloading it and trying to understand it, because I'm trying to understand the people watching the videos. Like I know that most of you guys will watch a video that I post because you guys are fucking awesome and you guys want to support me and want me to succeed, and I love that. But it's all the other people that are coming to the video for the first time that know nothing about me. It's like that client coming in. It's like, have I sold them on that hook to get them into the video? Do they stay for the video? And then do I get them to the call to action? And that's the same arc that I think about when I'm really thinking about. It's a lot easier for me to think about a client and their problem and their audience and build something for that than it is for me to think about making a video for myself. Any last thoughts, gentlemen? We gotta get some other people in here next time, but this is fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, any final thoughts?
No, I just want to say thank you for all the feedback and all the tips, and for making this happen, bringing along the audience to you, or having a live conversation. It's a lot better than just typing in the comments. So I really enjoyed this kind of meeting. So, but I have to leave you now because I have 20 minutes because I'm going to my second night shift at my regular job. So I just want to say thank you for having me, and thank you for all the good advice. And yeah,
Roger,
thank you for
I loved it.
having more conversations with me later on.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So let's take this offline and help you figure out what is best for you and how to attract the clients that you guys want. Avars, Mac, any final thoughts? Roger, you can jump off at any time. I'll talk to you soon. All right. But
I have one tip about for Roger, because you have a day job and then you want to do this with video and all that. It's time management, and to make that time that you have for something else that's not work, family, and then sleeping, very, very focused, very much time blocked. Do just batch all the similar tasks in one, let's say divide something into 1 hour and just work with that for an hour. And then that helped me a lot to have found the getting things done methodology in the early 90s and all that. And I have a system now where I still have a day job at a nonprofit organization, but that's because I have some kind of a educational dedication to what we're working with, and it's very much the same area as video, music, media management that I would do anyway in my company on the side. So I'm very fortunate that I can work with that. But when I had the day job and trying to play music at the same time, that was rough. And time management was really, really helping me a lot. That's my thoughts. Thanks so much, man.
Mac, appreciate you jumping on. Avars, I'm looking at you. Final thoughts.
You covered it all, yeah. And yeah, the final points about time management. So if everyone will figure out that as well, so they're unstoppable.
And if you guys want points on time management, definitely check out Avar's channel. He talks about that quite a bit, and he has a structure that he's just killing it with. So guys, I just want to thank you so much for being part of this. I'm glad this experiment worked. Gonna figure this out. It looks finally good. It sounded good. Thank you everyone for checking it out, and if you guys are watching on the replay, if you made it this far, thank you as well. Avars, Mac, I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for being part of this. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Have a happy Thursday or whatever day it is that you guys are watching on. And I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.